YouTube. In this video I'm going to give you a small demonstration of how my new coin accept application works. The application is divided into 3 different tabs: dashboard, triggers and debug. The dashboard page allows you to toggle the coin acceptor and the LCD display on and off. It also features some basic statistics regarding how many coins are stored in the arcade, how many coins have been registered since the last session, and how many coins are registered in total. It also supports switching accounts, meaning that if you define an emulator that differentiates between player 1 and player 2 credits, like MAME has some games, you can define a button in order to switch between the player 1 credits and player 2 credits. More on that later. If I switch to the triggers page, you can add processes here, and a button for or a key for the player 1 and player 2, which is going to be triggered each time the coin acceptor receives a coin. In this case I've added MAME64 with D3 for player 1 and D4 for player 2. D3 means the numeric 3 key on the keyboard, and D4 means the numeric 4 key. So it's not numpad 4 but the ordinary 4 key. For debugging purposes I've also added notepad and wordpad. Notepad has been added with A as a player 1 key and B as a player 2 key, and wordpad with only X as a player 1 key and none as player 2 key. If I switch to the debug page, there's not much here, but you can change the startup options if you want the application to start up minimized to the tray or normally when started. I've also added a feature here where you can see which process is in focus. So if I click on Notepad, you will see it switched to Notepad, and if I click on WordPad, for example, it would switch to WordPad. Even though it's easy to figure out what processes are called, sometimes depending on which emulators you use, it can be tricky, because some emulators can launch different exe files, and it's not always the one that you launched that might end up being run in the foreground. Anyway, let me give you a small demonstration. This is my coin acceptor, which has a 16:2 LCD screen mounted on top. And if I click on Notepad, it would say player 1 selected, insert coins. The reason why it says player 1 selected is that Notepad actually supports, or in my case now supports, player 1 and player 2 switching. And if I press on WordPad, since this is configured only to trigger X for player 1 and none for player 2, it will only say insert coins. If I switch to Notepad again and take 1 Norwegian kroner, put it in, it adds an A in Notepad. If I switch to the player 2 credits account by pressing the hotkey on my keyboard as defined in the application, add another coin, you see it adds B to Notepad. You will also notice that it adds 2 to Notepad, and the reason for that is that my key, which I've defined to toggle between the player 2 and player 1 accounts, actually will output in WordPad or Notepad. But here you can define whatever key that is not in use by the emulator. So if I would use this with MAME, I would definitely map this as a button that is not defined in MAME, of course. You will also see here that it has registered the 2 coins I've inserted. And I'm able to reset those if I wanted to. If we go to MAME, I can give you a better demonstration. In this case I will start up Bomberman World. The reason for this is that Bomberman World actually cares about if you add credits to the player 1 or player 2 account. If you see on the bottom of the screen, you see P1 is 00. If I enter a 1 krone, it registers 1 coin. And if I press the hotkey for player 2, add another coin, player 2 gets 1 coin. So this basically sums up my application. I hope you liked the video, and please comment.